Let me start with a truth most men learn too late. It's not the betrayal that breaks you, it's the blindness. It's not that she fooled you, it's that you fooled yourself. Now, before you tense up, before you point fingers, understand this. Relationships are not battles between men and women, they are mirrors. And when you get played, it is rarely because you were unlucky, it is usually because you were unprepared. Today, we're going to talk about four words, just four. Four simple words that often show up right before confusion, heartbreak, and disappointment. And more importantly, what to do when you hear them. Because success in relationships, just like success in life, is not about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. 1. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for anything serious. I'm not ready for a relationship. Now listen carefully. When a woman says she's not ready, believe her. Don't translate it into, she'll be ready for me. She just needs time. I'll prove myself. No, what she is really saying is, I cannot meet you where you are. And here's where most men fail. They negotiate with reality. A powerful man does not try to persuade someone into readiness. He doesn't audition for affection. He doesn't beg for alignment. What do? You respect the statement. You say, I understand, I'm looking for something intentional. If that changes, you know where to find me. And then you walk, not angrily, not dramatically, calmly, because your time is valuable, your emotional energy is capital, and wise investors do not pour capital into uncertainty. 2. Let's just see. Let's just see where this goes. It sounds harmless, casual, easygoing, but often it means this. I want the benefits without the responsibility. Now, don't misunderstand me. There's nothing wrong with taking things slow, but there is something wrong with drifting without direction. A ship without a destination is at the mercy of the current. If you are intentional and she is indefinite, you are already misaligned. What do? You clarify. You say, I'm open to building something real. If we're just passing time, I'd rather know. You don't pressure. You don't demand. You define. Because clarity is power, confusion is expensive, and a man who knows what he wants is rare. Rarity commands respect. 3. You're too good. You're too good for me. You deserve better. Now, this one is tricky. It feels like a compliment. It is not. It is often a soft exit. When someone tells you that you deserve better, do not argue your way into being treated worse. Don't respond with, no, you're perfect. I don't want better. When a person shows you their limitations, honor their honesty. What do? You smile and say, I appreciate that. I agree. I do deserve something aligned. You see, self-worth is not proven by how much you tolerate. It is proven by what you refuse. A man who cannot walk away from misalignment will always feel played. 4. I need space. Now, sometimes space is healthy. We all need it. But when I need space comes after distance, inconsistency, and emotional withdrawal, it often means this: I am already halfway out. Here is the mistake most men make. They chase, they text more, call more, try harder, but pressure never creates desire. It creates resistance. What do? You give space, real space. Not space while hovering, not space while sending check-in messages every 2 days. You focus on your work, your body, your mission, your friendships. Because here is the deeper truth. When your life is full, rejection doesn't feel like devastation. It feels like redirection. The real lesson. This isn't about outsmarting women. It's about outgrowing neediness. When a man is desperate for validation, he ignores warning signs. When a man fears loneliness, he tolerates confusion. When a man lacks purpose, he makes a relationship his entire identity. And that is when he gets played, not because she is evil, not because women are manipulative, but because he abandoned his standards. Psychology is simple. People test the strength of your boundaries. If you don't have any, they won't respect you. Exactly what to do. 1. Define what you want before you date. If you don't know, you'll accept anything. 2. Listen more than you fantasize. Words reveal intentions. Excuses reveal limits. 3. Never argue someone into valuing you. Interest that must be convinced is not interest. 4. Keep building your life. A relationship should be an addition, not a rescue mission. Let me leave you with this. The strongest position you can ever take in dating is this: I would rather be alone than be misaligned. Because when you are willing to walk away from what doesn't serve you, you stop being the man who gets played, and you become the man who chooses. And the man who chooses always wins. Clarity is a discipline. Chemistry is a feeling. And the problem is that most people trust the feeling and neglect the discipline. Chemistry is immediate. It's exciting. It creates urgency. It convinces you that this connection is rare, special, almost magical. But clarity takes patience. It requires observation. It demands that you slow down long enough to ask, what is actually happening here? Attraction can make you project potential onto someone who has only shown you fragments. You begin to fill in the blanks with hope instead of evidence. You assume consistency where there is only convenience. You interpret charm as character. And when you do that, you are no longer responding to reality. You are responding to imagination. Clarity means watching patterns, not promises. It means listening carefully to words, but paying even closer attention to behavior. If someone says they value commitment but avoids defining the relationship, clarity notices the contradiction. If someone expresses deep interest but disappears when it's inconvenient, clarity records that data. This is not cynicism, it is wisdom. Clarity protects your time, your energy, and your emotional stability. It prevents you from overinvesting in uncertainty. It keeps you grounded when emotions try to pull you into fantasy. The strongest individuals are not the ones who feel the least. They are the ones who can feel deeply and still think clearly. When you learn to prioritize clarity over chemistry, you stop chasing sparks and start building foundations. And foundations, unlike sparks, don't burn out. They hold. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are standards that protect what you allow in. And many people misunderstand this. They think that being agreeable earns affection. They think flexibility creates connection. But without boundaries, flexibility becomes self-betrayal. Respect is not granted because you are kind. It is granted because you are consistent about what you will and will not tolerate. When you overlook small signs of disrespect to keep the peace, you quietly teach others that your standards are negotiable. And once your standards become negotiable, your value becomes negotiable. Boundaries are calm decisions made in advance. They are not emotional reactions in the moment. They are the quiet understanding that you will not accept mixed signals, chronic inconsistency, or emotional manipulation. And when those things appear, you do not argue, threaten, or try to fix the other person. You adjust your access. There is strength in that restraint. A person who can walk away from what diminishes them sends a powerful message. My self-respect is not for sale. That energy changes how others treat you. It also changes how you treat yourself. Boundaries are not about controlling someone else's behavior. They are about controlling your response to it. You cannot force maturity, commitment, or honesty from anyone, but you can decide what environment you are willing to participate in. When you protect your standards without anger and without apology, you create space for healthier connections, and the right people will not feel restricted by your boundaries. They will feel secure within them. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand what is happening beneath the surface, both in others and within yourself. It is the discipline of pausing before reacting. It is choosing awareness over impulse. Many people mistake intensity for depth. They react quickly, speak quickly, assume quickly. But reaction is not power. Reaction is surrendering control to the moment. Emotional intelligence, on the other hand, creates space between stimulus and response. And in that space, you regain authority over your choices. When you understand emotional patterns, you stop personalizing everything. If someone withdraws, instead of panicking, you observe. If someone sends mixed signals, instead of chasing, you assess. You ask, is this alignment or is this confusion? Is this consistency or convenience? This awareness prevents unnecessary drama. It also prevents self-deception. Emotional intelligence allows you to read tone, timing, and behavior without bitterness. You don't assume the worst, but you also don't ignore reality. You recognize when someone is unsure, when they are testing boundaries, or when they are slowly disengaging. And instead of forcing clarity from them, you provide clarity for yourself. The strongest individuals are not emotionally cold. They are emotionally disciplined. They feel disappointment without collapsing. They feel attraction without losing judgment. They feel rejection without losing identity. That is power. When you develop emotional intelligence, you stop trying to win people over and start evaluating whether they deserve your investment. You move from emotional reaction to intentional response. And once you master that shift, you are no longer controlled by circumstances. You become the one in control. When you combine clarity, boundaries, and emotional intelligence, something powerful happens. You stop dating from fear and start living from strength. Clarity keeps your vision sharp when attraction tries to blur it. Boundaries protect your value when emotions tempt you to compromise it. Emotional intelligence steadies your reactions when situations test your composure. Together, they create confidence that does not depend on someone else's approval. The goal is not to outmaneuver anyone. The goal is to outgrow the version of yourself that once tolerated confusion, chased validation, or ignored red flags. Growth is not about becoming harder. It's about becoming wiser. When you see clearly, you choose better. When you respect yourself, others feel it. When you respond instead of react, you lead the interaction instead of being led by it. And here is the deeper truth. The right connection will never require you to abandon your standards to keep it. It will align with them. So build your awareness, strengthen your boundaries, sharpen your emotional discipline, because when you master yourself, you don't fear being played. You simply recognize misalignment early and walk forward with dignity. That is maturity. That is power. And that is how you win in both relationships and life.